Hello everyone and welcome to another video. In this video I will play Meganium lead with double tanks in the back with registeel and bastiodon. And the strategy is to send in registeel against any neutral or lost lead, so that they send in their best steel counter and then bastiodon will get easier matchups in the end. So here my opponent starts with registeel, and that's actually one of the worst leads that I can face, because now I can't send in registeel since it would have an energy disadvantage. So I will have to trust that Meganium can beat this registeel when my opponent switches here into Hunter, which is great for me since now I can first force the shield and then send in Bastiodon to just beat this Hunter in total damage output. So now my opponent uses Shadow Punch. I knew it was a Shadow Punch since he did it way too fast. So if you are using a Hunter against Bastiodon, you should just go for the Shadow Balls, because the Shadow Punches are not doing that much damage. So now I send in Meganium again, just to soak up this damage. And since his registeel now is slightly hurt, I know that I just have to fire off 2 Focus Blasts to win this game. So even if he stayed in with Meganium, I would have used a Focus Blast on that Meganium, just to make sure that he doesn't switch in registeel and catches a Flash Cannon. So that's game 1. So my next opponent is MHF, and he leads with an Azumarill against my Meganium, so obviously it's a great position for me. And he switches in Hunter just like the last guy, so I switch in my Bastiodon. And this time he actually makes 2 Shadow Balls, so I'm forced to shield one of them, and then Bastiodon will defeat Hunter in just total damage output. So now I have maintained switch advantage, so I know that I can have my Meganium against his Azumarill. And here I'm going to use my Frenzy Plant as soon as possible, because I know that a Vine Whip takes 2 turns and Bubble takes 3 turns, so he's in the middle of a fast move animation, so he's not going to be able to switch and catch that Frenzy Plant with that Altaria like he tried the second time. But I expected the switch and was ready with my own registeel, and now since I have a Meganium in the back with a Frenzy Plant ready and also a registeel locked in with his Altaria, it's pretty much over. So we will just see this go through. And yeah, while we see this, I can mention that sometimes I get commentaries like, what if they have a Whiscash in the back? But the thing is, the strategy is to switch in registeel to make your opponent switch in the Whiscash, so that you get easier matchups with Bastiodon. And in the third game I face off against Rakimog, and he has a Skarmory, so this is pretty much the worst lead possible. So the way I play this is that I use 6 Vine Whips, so that I have a Frenzy Plant ready for an eventual Azumarill later in the game. But this time it seems like my opponent is running Caleb's team. So now I really have to win the switch advantage. And I should actually have shielded the first charge move, because that's the charge move that they are the least likely to bait with, since most people don't shield the first one. But now we go down to 0 shields, and I'm just able to make a Focus Blast, and now I have switch advantage. So now I know that I can have my Bastiodon against his Skarmory and Meganium against whatever else it is, which is most likely to be a Meganium, since he's probably running Caleb's team. So he switches in the Meganium, and I have my own Meganium with energy, and this is pretty much over, since now my Bastiodon will be locked against his Skarmory, and Bastiodon is just brutal. against Skarmory and any flyer basically. So that wraps up game 3. We will just watch this end with a flamethrower, and then we can move on to game number 4. So my next opponent is Yuzuru Hanuma, and he leads with Jirachi into my Meganium, so this is a lost lead for me. I can win it if I just hit an Earthquake, but I'm just going to stick with the strategy and send in registeel to bait out his best bastiodon counter. So even though I lost the lead and I lost the switch in, I still have a good chance to win this game, since his best bastiodon counter is gone now. So I will just have faith in bastiodon that he can finish the game strong. And here I don't know how much energy he overfarmed, so I will just fire off my Frenzy Plant immediately. And here I will charge up to an Earthquake before firing off a Frenzy Plant to hopefully get rid of his last shield, and then just have faith in Bastiodon. So now I send in Bastiodon, and he has Victory Bell in the back without any shields. So this flamethrower will one-shot it, and then Jirachi is also in flamethrower range, so Bastiodon can sweep the last 2 Pokemon. So that's how I handle Whiscash in the back. Just stick to the strategy and send in registeel. And in the 5th game I face Psur, and he leads with Wigglytuff into my Meganium, so I win the 0 shields, but he wins the 1 shield and 2 shield, so I will just fire off 1 and I expect him to shield, and then I can send in registeel as always. But sadly he had the perfect counter to registeel, and it's not even a Bastiodon counter, so I don't know if Bastiodon can carry this game, even though I have to try. So I'm not going to shield anything with registeel and save both of my shields for Bastiodon. And here I actually send in Meganium to soak up all of his energy. And he baits me, because I guess since I have 2 shields he expects me to use them. And then I don't shield the second one either. So now I have a Frenzy Plant loaded, and he's locked in with Wigglytuff against Bastiodon. But these charms are still doing fairly much damage, so I don't want to farm all the way down. So I just fire off my charge move. And now he has Azumarill, and he's not going to use any charge move here, because there's no point in it when I have 2 shields left. And now this situation becomes very interesting, since I will force his last shield with my Stone Edge, and then I have a Frenzy Plant ready in the back, but I will just stay in, since I know that he knows that I have a Frenzy Plant, and he expects me to switch and use it immediately. So I will just stay with Bastiodon and KO his Marowak, and then fire off my charge move at the Azumarill. So that's my 5-0 run with this team. So thanks for watching.